All right, we are live on Facebook. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. And here we are about to go. As we look at these images, as we think about the extraordinary time in this world, we remember the beautiful line that we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've been preparing for. Nobody knows for sure exactly what it truly means, how long it's going to last. But what we do know is we have each other. And so welcome to Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. This is your chance, our chance to come together in community, where we're going to have music.
Walk together. Take my hand and we will heal this life.
Inspirational speakers.
Recreate, reimagine, renew, relook, respect, and regenerate.
Wisdom jewels.
Let yourself become intolerant of apathy, intolerant of injustice. Let yourself become intolerant of ignorance.
And even some comedy.
With all of this light energy, not only will you be able to heal souls, but I bet you'll be able to re-soul heals.
And some magic.
Are you ready? Here we go. Let's count to 3. Everybody, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Solved. Yes.
Recognizing that the greatest magic is how we can all be together, no matter where we are geographically, sharing in the universal language of love and music.
With all things I am one. With all things I am one.
And learning from these extraordinary speakers coming into our show.
We are the imaginal cells connecting right now, and they find a new way of connecting. Well, maybe we're not connecting out on the streets and we're not connecting at big concerts, but we are connecting through the globe right now. There are people all over this world in this moment together, this moment when we are beginning to awaken in the chrysalis to who we are becoming.
Thank you for joining us. The show is just about to begin.
With all things I am one. 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 With all things I am one.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I'm your co-host along with Deborah, Kenny, and Teresa. And this is our Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Tribe. And a lot goes into putting together a show like this. And I really want to acknowledge my primary partner in this venture, Deborah Justita. Tell us a little bit more.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone to what's going to be another amazing evening tonight. This is actually our 7th show, and every Saturday night we have up-leveled to another level, and this is definitely going to happen tonight. We are partnering with Global Coherence Pulse. And what we do every Saturday is we share wisdom and music and comedy, but most of all, we share heart-spirit connection. And that is so important in these times that are so highly challenging, but also very evolutionary. So we come together and we connect and we affirm that we can create positive realities out of all that's happening here. So I welcome you so much. This is going to be an amazing evening. And I want to invite you to continue to share with people. They can still join us on Zoom. And shortly, I'm going to put the Zoom link right, or the link to sign up on Zoom right in the chat room. And again, you can share with Facebook. I will put the link of Love Coach Academy, which is where we're streaming on Facebook, and you can share with friends there. And also share in the chat room where you came from, your name, and share during the broadcast, because we love to hear from you, because there's people from all over the world joining, which is really special. And you can stick around to the end. We have a very special thing that happens after the show called Community Connections, where you can actually come onto the gallery and share a 1-minute transmission of what you'd like to share from your heart in response to the show, in response to what's happening in the world now. So it's a way for us to connect within community at another level. And also we have another situation where we are using the new paradigm principles for this show in many levels, and we are using the gifting economy, which means we are sharing this show for you for free. And we love for you to give back to us generously through our GoFundMe campaign. And what we do is we share a big portion of that to organizations around our community that are helping with the COVID virus right now and helping to bring that forward so that, and then we will take a portion of it for our expenses. So we really appreciate you funding the GoFundMe campaign, and we'll put that link and we'll share more about the organizations that have gotten funded by this and who we're going to be funding today a little bit later in the show. And right now I'd like to introduce another partner of us that helps create the show, Ken Kaufman of New Living Expo. He actually was one of our collaborative partners a couple weeks ago, and he helps with the GoFundMe campaign and finding those organizations that are really important to support at this time. Hello, Ken.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming in today. This is our largest crowd we've had yet, over 500 people on our Zoom room, which is fantastic. Just to let you know, after 30 years of doing Whole Life Expo and now New Living Expo, I just, my heart goes out to everybody who is impacted by this COVID-19, and we hope and pray that this can be over as fast as possible so we can get back to doing our show in October. And tonight we're going to hear from 4 different nonprofits, 2 that we gave money to last week, and then 2 that we're giving money to this week. So stay tuned for that, and back to you, Scott.
All right, thank you, Ken. I think Deborah is going to introduce the woman who's really put this show together and done such an amazing job. Take it away, Deborah.
Definitely. When we started developing the show, we realized that another new paradigm principle is to work in high-level collaboration, meaning we all bring our resources to the table and we all benefit on what we can create, mega manifesting, I call it. And when I had the idea to work in collaboration, Teresa Collins came to my mind because I've watched her over the years do such amazing things. Her organization, Global Coherence Pulse, has a monthly gathering where thousands of people join and they do a meditation, and it's based on scientifically on heart-centered coherence. So we're going to be able to really understand that and experience that tonight, which is going to be so amazing and wonderful. Teresa has been on the forefront and a leader in many different ways, and she's worked with a lot of different organizations. She's had 20 years of innovative online education, learning community development, whole system strategy. She's worked with the Gene Keys Foundation of Conscious Evolution, Barbara Marx Hubbard's organization, Wisdom University, Thrive, Resonance Science Academy, Nassim Haramein's organization, and now she's lended her amazing talents to this show to bring her friends, her colleagues, her resources. And so, Teresa, thank you so much, and with so much love and appreciation, I turn the show over to you right now.
Thank you guys so much. You made it sound like I've just been everywhere.
That's true.
Thank you so much, Ken and Deborah and Scott, for inviting us to really come in and collaborate on that show. And like you said, we know that it's time for us to synergize our energies at a whole nother scale. And I know I've been saying this for like the last year or so. I see a solar system of organizations beginning to kind of come into my view, and I feel like we're all serving a similar demographic. We're all serving this rising community, and we all have something unique that we're offering. And as we begin to kind of partner and synergize in a whole new way, we can offer this budding community everything that it needs in order to become more resilient and to, you know, find the things that they need when they need it, and also to be able to find each other and partner together. So I'm really glad that was part of your ethos in your organization, and I know it's definitely at the core of the Global Coherence Pulse. And you'll notice that a lot of the people that are joining on tonight are partners of the Global Coherence Pulse, or they're friends of mine that have inspired the practice and the understanding and the experience of coherence in me. So we're definitely going to have a really, really fun show. It's a Saturday night. It's a nice opportunity for us to come together and share heart, but also to have a little fun and relax together. And I do really appreciate what you guys are doing during this really challenging and potentiated time. It is a lot to put these on. It was a lot between this morning's pulse and tonight. I can imagine you guys doing this every week. I just really want to take my hats off to you and say how much I appreciate that. So for everybody that's out there listening, I think Unify is blasting this out on their Facebook page. I think we have Awake TV, one of our partners for the Global Coherence Pulse, is also putting this out on Awake TV. I think we've got multiple streams. I think EarthDance is also streaming. So welcome wherever you're listening from. And even if you're listening to the recording right now, just know that we're all together in this, and that we're going to have a shared experience no matter where you are or when you're listening. So we have a great show planned tonight and great cast of characters, as I said. We have for magic and music, we have Manose. We have Cornflower, who I know it said advertise Elijah Ray, and he ended up being double booked. And Deborah was lucky enough to reach out to one of their favorite people, Cornflower. And it turns out that Elijah and Cornflower absolutely love each other. So it was perfect combination to bring him in for us tonight. So thanks for your last minute inclusion. We look forward to hearing from you. We have Jess Magic, one of my favorite gals. David Line is going to do some magic and some wisdom for us, and Entheo, which is Theo and Amma Grace. And then our luminaries tonight, Gregg Braden, Kimberly Carter Gamble, Nassim. I have a video of Nassim. He's not going to be with us tonight, but I got this really great. Could you imagine 5 minutes of video of Nassim? It's never happened, and he was fantastic. So stick around for that. Claudia Wells is joining us. She is the co-founder of the Global Coherence Pulse and a dear, dear friend of mine and inspiration. Roland McCready is with us tonight, the Director of Research for HeartMath Institute. Marshall Lefferts is here. Cosmometry, if you haven't gotten the Cosmometry book, you're really going to want to get that one. And Andréa Melone from Art Crystal, another one of our partners in the Global Coherence Pulse. Sandra Hay with EarthDance, and she's got a little crew with her. I think Michael Gosney's on and DJ Frank's on. So we got a few crew from EarthDance. And then, of course, myself. I'll be participating too. So tonight's theme is claiming our coherence. And this is a continuation from our morning pulse. I know many of you are on this morning when we did our pulse, and we do this once a month as an event, and we come together so that we can learn more about what it means to have sustained heart coherence, and we have an opportunity to experience it together. And through that ongoing practice, we can build our capacity through the power of our synergy. Today we had 5,000 people sign up for our call. We maxed the 1,000-person line out in about a minute, living streaming out to Awake. We're going to have to figure out how we can keep opening it up so everybody can come in. So on the theme of claiming our coherence, I just wanted to say from me, my experience is that there is a coherence pulse, a coherent pulse oscillating inside each of us. It's pulsing at the center really of everything that makes up life. And as we turn our attention towards it, as we open to it, as we explore it and start to resonate with it, it meets us. At every turn, it meets us. And it's because it's our natural state at the heart of it all. And I believe that's just what we need right now to claim our natural state of heart-centered coherence. So maybe imagine together with me. Imagine what might happen if we personally and collectively committed to cultivating sustained heart-centered coherence in our meditations, in our communications, our relationships, and our actions. Would it have a positive effect on personal and planetary health and well-being? Would it increase our resilience in the face of challenges and uncertainties? Would it inspire greater creativity, compassion, and care for ourselves, the earth, and all of life? Well, science is telling us that the answer is yes. And this is the mission of the Global Coherence Pulse, and we'll continue to do what we can to build more and more people's awareness around it. And we're really grateful that you've joined us here tonight to increase this energy and pulse it out with us during this Saturday night show. Your impact makes a difference. Your presence makes a difference. And the fact that you're right here, right now, you're really part of this blossoming change into wholeness. So let's start. Let's start right now. Let's have this evening be an evening of heart. You know, maybe just even take a moment to put your hand on your heart. And just breathe and relax. You're so blessed to have each other and this feeling of being together like this. So let's dedicate this pulse tonight to the frontline workers, to those who are suffering from the virus or related issues. And let's dedicate this to ourselves tonight and our full claiming of our coherence. Let's have a really, really beautiful heart-centered evening. So to start us off, I'd really like to hand it over to Manose, one of my favorite friends on the planet. Manose is a world acclaimed musician, but one of my favorite things about Nassim is a memory that I have about him. And he asked me if I would say something. One day I'm at the beach and Manose comes up on his bicycle and tells me to hop onto his handlebars. Now we're on the sand, we're down at the beach, and he starts to ride me on his handlebars up and down the beach for a while. I don't even know how he did it. He had superhuman strength. And everybody who watched us, me smiling and laughing, and Krishna riding a bike up and down the beach with me smiling and laughing on it. That was my favorite memory. We got to do that again, Manose. Thank you so much for bringing your love here.
So nice. I remember that moment, and I remember being very tired later. I had good sleep. Anyway, thank you, Teresa, to remind me that. Wow, what amazing! I remember it was beautiful day in the Santa Cruz here in the beach. Anyway, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be with you. Even though I'm looking at the screen right now, in a mysterious way, I can feel each of you in my heart. Each of you in my heart. And 2 days ago, we celebrated Buddha's birthday. Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama. He was born, enlightened, and he left his body 7th of May. And the whole month they call Buddha Purnima. And whole month we celebrate as a Buddha's month, Buddha Purnima, the full moon of a Buddha. So I pray for you. We have a Buddha inside all of us, to awaken all our Buddhas at this gathering. Namaste. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. I take refuge in Buddha. Dhamma is a teaching of Buddha. I take refuge in the teachings of a Buddha. And Sangha. Sangha is a community, what you have created, Teresa. This is Sangha right now. I take refuge into Sangha. Buddham Saranam Gacchami. Dhammam Saranam Gacchami. Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Thank you so much. I would like to share a beautiful mantra. This is the mantra is for thriving, each of us, our community, our existence, globally, cosmically. It goes like Om Namo Narayanaya. Please repeat. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayana. May all of us be thriving. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Manose. I love you so much. Such a beautiful soul. We'll be seeing more of Manose later on in the show. Thank you so much, blessed brother. Wow, next up we have one of my favorite men on the planet, Mr. Gregg Braden, who is a 5-time New York best-selling author, scientist, educator, and pioneer in bringing science and spirituality, social policy, and human potential. Gregg and I are old friends, 20 years plus, Gregg. It was way back in 2000 that we met when I was with Barbara Marx Hubbard. And we had so much fun, and we're still having fun. I'm so, so glad. And one thing I want to say personally about you, my friend, is you are one of the most consistently gracious men that I have ever had the pleasure of meeting. Just so appreciate that.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much, Teresa. That means a lot. It's been a tough few days, and I want you to know it really means a lot for me to hear that from you tonight. So I want to begin by saying thank you, and I just want to say it feels really good to be with so many good friends. Some people on this panel I didn't know would be on the panel. I haven't seen for a long time. I know there are a lot of our global family that are tuned in right now. They're going to be watching this, and I just want to welcome everyone. And it just feels so good to be here right now. And I was listening. Well, and I have to say, Manose, my brother, you are so awesome. I expected that I would hear the flute tonight. You and I are flute players together, and I was very surprised and really love what I just heard. So thank you. You did a beautiful, beautiful job, and it feels really good to be following what you've just done here. Thank you.
Hey man, we all trying to awaken our Buddhas. That's all it is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Teresa, when you were doing the introduction and we were showing the film at the very beginning, I had this flash, the beginning of the movie Contact, where all of the broadcasts that have ever been created on planet Earth, they continue to emanate into the stars long after the broadcasts are complete between us. And I cannot help but think that somewhere parked out on the edge of our solar system or our Milky Way, wherever they are, they're getting this broadcast tonight, and they're probably saying, man, it's about time, that these people are waking up to this possibility. So it was very present with me. I had to share that as we begin tonight. So, many of you know me through the Global Coherence Initiative with the Institute of Heart Math. I've been with that project, Roland and Claudia and many others since the inception. And so many people are going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. Teresa, you mentioned that you've been sitting in your chair all day. I have been the same, doing the same thing. So many people believe that because we're in this global pause, that somehow everybody's taking a break. And I have to tell you, nothing could be further from the truth right now. Behind the scenes, we are busier than ever, busier than we've ever been. And I've been in meetings all day long. There are groups working with adjunct groups, the United Nations, adjunct groups, governmental agencies, social agencies, everyone recognizing that something so extraordinary is happening right now. And it's not something that you're going to hear on CNN or Fox News or the mainstream media. It goes much, much deeper. And I think that people, even the people that I talk to in the grocery store, they're coming up and they're saying, what just happened? What just happened? They know that it's about more than this global pause that we're all experiencing right now. And as we begin to emerge from this pause, as the nations and now the states in America are beginning to lift some of these restrictions, everybody's asking the same question. There's a world out there that did not exist before this all happened. And everyone is asking, what does that world mean? What does that world look like? And here's the challenge. Here's the challenge that every group, every organization that I'm involved with, everyone is experiencing exactly the same challenge. And I'm just going to share it with our audience tonight. We know that something new and beautiful is possible. But here's the question. How do you imagine the potential of what is possible for us and what can be without running it through the filters of everything that we've known in the past? How can we begin to imagine this world of equality, this world of sustainability, this world that we all know is possible? How can we do that without hinging upon the framework of what we've known in the past? And it might seem like an easy thing to do when we talk about, but when you really sit down with people and they begin to describe what they envision as being possible, they begin to understand that is all based in the filters of everything that we've known in the past. And we have an opportunity to do so much more right now. So as the opening film clip for tonight began, there was the mention of the caterpillar and the butterfly. And I was actually going to talk about that because I was just speaking with my dear friend, my colleague, my spiritual brother, Bruce Lipton, 2 nights ago. He's in New Zealand right now. They're packing to come back to the US. And Bruce shared something with me about the caterpillar analogy, because we've all heard this before, but he expanded and shared something a little bit different with me. And I want to share it with you tonight. Because what he told me as a biologist, he told me that the caterpillar that is to become the monarch butterfly is a voracious eater, and it will consume and destroy its environment before it goes into the cocoon, into the chrysalis. And if you believe that we follow the natural rhythms and patterns that nature is showing us, it's a beautiful analogy for what we have done here on planet Earth. We have consumed almost to the extent where we cannot consume much longer. But the caterpillar goes into this state where everything breaks down into chaos. If you were to look inside, it's mush. It is this thick, sticky, gooey mush that looks like total chaos from inside. But then this beautiful thing begins to happen. A few specialized cells begin to awaken before the others do. They begin to awaken and recognize that something new is possible. And they are, in fact, called in biology the imaginal cells. And it is those imaginal cells that inform all of the other cells in the sticky, gooey mush that something greater is possible. And they become the organizing principle that allows the other cells then to align following what the imaginal cells now have shared as possible. And I cannot help but think, if we are following this natural principle, that everyone in our audience tonight, everyone tuning in, everyone on this panel, and many others that may not even know are the imaginal cells in our collective awakening. When I think about that, I'm excited, but then I think back to all the questions that are being asked. What do we do? What policies do we embrace? What laws do we enact? How do we build this new world and not make the mistakes of the past? And this is what I want to share tonight, because I'm going to share with you the message I've shared with the UN groups, with the governmental groups, with the military groups, with the social groups. From my perspective, we don't know, and there are things that cannot be known in this moment. We have to get used to that there are things that cannot be known, and we have to be okay with that. If we build our future and the world for our children and the world for ourselves as we emerge, if we build this world upon values that have been lost in the past, and there are fundamental values, 4 of them, that I cherish, and I believe that we as a species cherish. I'm going to share those values, the principles, the values of freedom. We've got to have freedom as a foundational principle. The principle of imagination, we must support our ability to imagine and have the freedom to imagine beyond the limits of what we've known in the past. The principle of community, we're being asked to become socially isolated, or socially distant, I should say. But the key is not to become socially isolated. We need community more now than ever. These values, the value of life, human life, all life, if we can bring these fundamental values front and center, not put them on the back burner at the expense of anything else, if every choice, every law, every policy, every decision that we make in our families, in our homes, in our schools, in our communities, in our governments, and as a planet, if they are all giving a priority to life, freedom, imagination, and community, then I don't think we can go wrong. And I don't think that we have to know to the nth degree with exact precision exactly where everything goes, because we will be basing our new world upon these fundamental principles that we cherish as individuals and as species. So this is where coherence is so powerful, because it is the coherence that we have within ourselves, between our heart and our brain, through the techniques that many of you know and that we're sharing here in this program. It's our coherence between ourselves and the earth that we live on. It's our coherence between one another that feeds the field that envelops this planet. And these fundamental principles, if we can honor these fundamental principles of life, freedom, imagination, and community, I think this is the key. Now, people say to me, Gregg, it takes a lot of work. And I'm just going to leave you with this tonight. The brilliant, beautiful man early in the 20th century that wrote the book titled The Prophet, his name was Khalil Gibran. Khalil Gibran says to us, work is love made visible. So the question we're asking is, do we love ourselves enough to put the work into honoring these fundamental values that we cherish? And if we do, once again, I think we can't go wrong. So I'm going to stop and honor my time tonight. I want to thank you all for allowing me to share that. And I look forward to how we embrace our coherence the rest of the program. And back to you, Teresa.
Beautiful. I love that caterpillar to the butterfly story. In fact, it's guided me so much of my life, really back in the early days with Elizabeth Sahtouris and Barbara. And I remember thinking that as we become this imaginal self, if we understand that's who we are, we tune into it, we're actually tuning into that coherent pulse inside of us. We vibrate that frequency and we start to connect with other people that are doing the same. Our projects start to uplift. You can feel it. So I think it's time for us to turn our attention in some ways away from the soup, the dismantling of the old, and really begin to vibrate at this attuned inside to that pulse. And that what will help us create that body. So beautiful. I love that you shared that. I love it. I'm putting a few links in the chat. Gregg Braden's website's there. It'd be wonderful to go check out all of the things that he's doing. There's also something happening tomorrow at 2 o'clock Pacific time. There's a Hands and Heart Facebook group that I just put in there. Go there tomorrow and you will get a big surprise of something that Gregg and some other really wonderful people are doing. There's also a website here for that where you can go and look. They have a beautiful fundraiser happening. And so anyway, it's going to be fun. Go check it out.
Thank you, Teresa.
So
thanks for mentioning that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
can I just say, yeah, Bruce Lipton will be with us. Lynn McTaggart will be with us. Quincy Jones is going to be with us. And there are some secret, amazing musicians that I can't announce, but I think you're going to be really, really happy with this 90-minute broadcast celebrating our humanness and our emergence out of what we've experienced into the new world. So thank you for that.
Beautiful. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be there. All right, next up we have Miss Jess Magic. Let's go to her screen right now. She's in Bali. One of my favorite gals on the planet. I just love Miss Jess Magic, and anytime that she begins to sing, and look, she's got somebody beautiful with her. Every time Jenna Lee, every time I've had the pleasure of being with Jess Magic and hearing her sing and engage the entire community in a feeling of just ecstatic love. It happens every time. So Jess, my love, thank you for being here and thank you for sharing your love on the show tonight.
It's so beautiful to be here. When I come on these types of experiences, I instantly feel teary. I call them my truth tears. It's like the the tears of resonance that I feel when many are coming together with the same intention, and I can feel it happening right now. So I really want to honor every single person who's here and the intention you're bringing. I'm super grateful to have my girlfriend, my sister from another Mr. Jenna Lee Prince here to harmonize. And I'm really grateful to be after Gregg, because what Gregg just shared is really relevant to this song that I'm going to share with you. I love singing gospel music. And the reason I like to sing gospel music is because of the power of the roots from where it came from, and the way that there are just codes embedded in this style of music that help us know somehow how to stay connected to our spirit, even in the face of oppression. And this song came through just last week. And I want to offer it to you as a tool. And I think you'll feel it and hear it. And I'm going to invite you to sing along. I'm going to feed you lyrics. But it's a tool for sovereignty. It's a tool to remember that no one can take our grace away. No one can take our spirit away. And I think during these times, as we're shifting through this phase shift, to have these musical tools and these mantra tools is just so important to help us stay connected to a certain frequency. So I humbly offer this as a very, very new offering, a new song that I hope that you put in your pocket and that you use it in those moments where it would serve you to stay connected to the frequency of freedom and sovereignty. This is my life. This is my life. I'm gonna choose it, and I'm gonna choose it. This is my time. This is my time, and I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna use it. Nobody can take. Nobody can take my grace away. My grace away. This is my love. This is my love. I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna lose it. This is my freedom. I won't abuse it. And I won't abuse it. Nobody can take. Nobody can take my spirit away. My spirit away. Let's sing that again. Nobody can take my spirit away. Nobody can take my spirit away. This is my life. And this is my life. I'm gonna choose it. You can sing. And I'm gonna choose it. This is my time. This is my time. I decide how to use it. I decide how to use it. Nobody can take my grace away. Sing that with me. Nobody can take my grace away. Nobody can take. I hear you. I feel you. My grace away. One more time. Nobody can take. Nobody can take my grace away. One last time. This is my love. This is my love. I'm not gonna lose it. And I'm not gonna lose it. Never. This is my freedom. Yeah. I'm not gonna abuse it. Nobody can take. Nobody can take my spirit away. My spirit away. Now say that that with celebration. Nobody can take. Nobody can take. And defiance. My spirit away. It's mine. Nobody can take my spirit away. I'm gonna sing that a few more times. I want to invite us to get lost in it. Nobody can take my spirit away. Nobody can take my freedom away. Nobody can take. Sing it, I want to feel you in Bali. My freedom away. Nobody can take my essence. Nobody can take my essence away. My light. Nobody can take my light away. My spirit. Nobody can take my spirit away. One last time. Nobody can take my spirit. Nobody can take my spirit away.
Like I said, every time Mama sings, oh, thank you so much. Wow. Yeah.
A humble offering as the way that songs can be a tool when we need them most. So I'm so grateful to be here with all these beautiful, amazing transmissionaries. And thank you so much for inviting us to be here.
Thank you, Jess. I put her website in. People are asking, I need this recording. We got to get this one recorded. This is an anthem for our time. Let's do that. Beautiful, Mama. Thank you so much. We'll be hearing from Jess again. And lovely to have you with her, too. Yay. Thank you. Let's send them some love. All right. So next up, we have Roland McCready. He's going to give us a wisdom jewel. I just want to say, Roland, so great to start having more collaborative time with you. He's really stepped up as a partner with the Global Coherence Pulse. And last month, we featured Heart Math Institute as our featured partner, and Roland hosted that one. So if you go to the Coherence Pulse website, in the archives, you can actually see that one. And he really lays down the science, right? And I asked him tonight to come in and give a wisdom jewel, because we get a lot of science from him, but he really has some great messages. And I really wanted to hear Roll in Your Heart tonight.
Thanks, Teresa. I appreciate you inviting me to be part of this, and also Scott and Deborah and everyone. Gregg, I really like what you shared. It's about what I would say, and you said a lot in a very short period. But just to not do a science talk tonight so much as I typically do, but I really do believe, what's more than believe, that we're really at a point in the history of consciousness where we have an opportunity to make an evolutionary leap in consciousness into a more cooperative and compassionate way of being. And a lot of us, I'm sure a lot of people listening to this have been aware for many years that there's a shift occurring. We've been aware of it energetically, can feel it in the field environment. And that's a lot of what we do research on, is the field and how to measure that. And a lot of work on how we can literally measure the interactivity and the communication between humanity, us, and the earth itself and others in measurable ways. But coherence is the theme of tonight. And from my perspective, the most important coherence that we can talk about, that we need to develop, is this state, this coherent state in which the mind and emotions are brought into alignment and in sync with the energetic heart, with the energetic heart's intuitive guidance. To me, that's what the shift is all about. It really is. And I have to say, we hear more about the heart and heart intelligence, and probably in the last year, in all across the world for minutes, whether it's on TV, different people. You hear this more of them probably in the last 50 years combined, it seems. So there's an awakening happened, but that awakening from my perspective really is the intelligence of the heart being integrated in with the mind. And so as we do that we do know we can measure this, that creates a more coherent field environment that we can literally measure, that we radiate, and how that couples with the earth itself and distributes that globally. So when we're coherent, not only we are helping ourselves in our own health and well-being and inner peace and these types of well-established things, but we are literally radiating a field, a measurable field that can measurably help uplift others and the planet itself. So what we feed the field counts. And as a famous chemist once says, Ilya Pragnolone, when a system is far from equilibrium, small islands of coherence in a sea of chaos have the capability to lift the system into higher order. And that's us. We are those small islands. And it's really time to feed the field with more love and compassion and cooperation. That is the great opportunity we have. And I believe that the pandemic is now the manifestation of the shift down here in a way that's not, that gets past those of us that have been aware about it in the field for many years, in some cases, to where now it's global. Everybody knows there's something happening. And this is just the first, I think, of many events that will be necessary to shift humanity from the trajectory we were on into the next level of cooperation and care and really love. So my message to you is please pause throughout today as many times as you can remember and ask yourself, what are you feeding the field? What am I feeding the field? How much of it is really love, compassion, kindness versus maybe anxiety or irritation or impatience and these types of things? Because it all counts, not just when we come together for the global pulses and these types of things, because we're always connected and always feeding the field. Thank you. I appreciate everybody for being here tonight. And again, thank you for everybody for inviting me to be here.
Thank you, Roland, and thanks for everything you've been doing. Let's go back to Roland just for a second. I'm going to put a link in the chat too to Awake TV network. Roland and so many people from the Heart Math community have been doing show after show after show. I think you finished your last one today, Roland. They're really wonderful. They give a really nice balance and information. Yeah. Did you
One
want to say
more on
something?
Tuesday, actually, one more this coming Tuesday.
One more on Tuesday.
On the science of intuition and some techniques of how to really access our heart's intuitive guidance. And going to have some other guests that are really going to tell real, I think, awesome stories from their own lives of how they've used the heart's intuitive guidance to navigate some really challenging times in their lives.
Thank you so much. There's tons of shows. Awake TV Network, go check it out. You'll find that they've just been hosting one after the other of coherence related TV shows. So thanks, Roland, for all you're doing.
Right.
Well, next we're going to go to Claudia Wells. We can go to her right now. And Claudia is the co-founder of the Global Coherence Initiative. She's also the board president of ION. She's representing several organizations really here with her presence. And Claudia was the host of our third Coherence Pulse today. And representing our partner organization that we're featuring, which is the Global Coherence Initiative. And Claudia, I'm just so happy to have you in partnership in this. And Claudia's commitment to bringing coherence into all of the organizations and the projects that she's serving has been unwavering and super inspiring to me. And so I'm very grateful that we're partners in this and that we can begin to carry this love of coherence and that coherence has us into the world in this way. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you, Teresa. And hello, everybody. Happy Saturday Night Live. We're doing it from home, just like the regular cast, which I thought has been fun to watch. Teresa mentioned that I'm with IONS, and that's the Institute of Noetic Sciences for people who don't know that. I'm also with the Global Coherence Initiative, so with Roland and Gregg, and it's fun sharing the evening with you both and with Teresa and with the rest of you. A lot of the rest of you are new to me. This is a new community. So I wasn't really sure what to share. I have to say, after Mama Jess Magic, who I've never heard before, I kind of melted, so I'm reconstituting. And I'm a little bit more sciencey, but hopefully I can still connect. So I'm with IONS and GCI, and they have a lot more in common than just me. Obviously, and at least for people who know about them, they're both science organizations, and they're both contributing to a tipping point of consciousness on the planet through science. But what they also have in common is they're both about unconditional love. They both came into my life unexpectedly at exactly the same time, as a matter of fact. I think we were all magnetically attracted. And it took me a while to realize that we all had this in common. Obviously, GCI will not obvious because this was before GCI, so it was heart math. Obviously, heart math is about love. It's about heart coherence, which they sometimes refer to as the physiological signature of love at the core of the human system. So that one is obvious. What a lot of people don't know, though, is that IONS, the Institute of Noetic Sciences, is also about love. It has to be, because our founder, Apollo 14 astronaut Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon, had an epiphany in space, coming back from his moonwalk about the true nature of the universe, of life, of humanity, and how we're all connected. In fact, that's why he founded IONS when he came back to Earth. He wanted science to tell a new story. And it took me a while to learn, because he often didn't share this with people, that Edgar's epiphany showed him that love, what he called and what others call agape love, what I call unconditional love, is the organizing principle of the whole universe. If he's right, and I think he is, even if it's more poetic than literal, it helps make sense of why the islands of coherence theory, that's foundational to the Global Coherence Pulse, and as Roland said, the Global Coherence Initiative, and that also serves as our inspiration tonight, feels so potent at this time. By the way, did you know Ilya Prigogine, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist behind that scientific theory, was known by his close friends and colleagues as the poet of thermodynamics? So if he could be here tonight, he'd probably drop some serious CT, or I guess it would be CSTP, that's complex systems theory poetry, like a Drew Dellinger of dissipative structures. Yeah, I don't know what those things really are, but he did. Anyway, it was Prigogine who demonstrated that in complex systems that are far from equilibrium, as our world is now, small islands of coherence can shift the entire system to a higher order. If love is the organizing principle of the universe, it makes sense that our world would be far from equilibrium, because we've been flowing against nature for a long time, including against our own nature. And it makes sense that love would be the remedy. Those islands of coherence will be ourselves, embodying the frequency of love. We also know that the further a system is from equilibrium or stability, the less energy it takes to create that shift. Think of the straw that breaks the camel's back. So how much love will it take? Maybe not as much as we think. I shared this morning that I think Prigogine's theory is a scientific way of saying what modern mystic Thomas Hübl means when he says crisis and miracles are very close together. And I always trust science more when I can find a corollary in wisdom tradition. Removing the thin line between crisis and miracles requires only the activation of love as the organizing principle of the universe. This is the love within us. This is the love that we are. GCI and IONS are doing amazing work to provide scientific proof that this is true. But we don't need to wait for that proof to act on what we already know. We don't need to wait to claim our coherence for the benefit of all life. Now is the time. It feels like this is the community. And thank you for inviting me to join you. Beautifully said, Claudia. Thank you so much. We have a lot of ripples expanding out from our coherent hearts and this intention that we've been carrying for a long time. And it's really nice to actually have your voice start to surface more and more in the field. You can see from the chat, people were so appreciating what you had to share. And, you know, it's always just right on. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. So next up, we have some more music. Don't we want a little bit more music? And these are two really sweet friends of mine. Let's go to, yes, there they are. Entheo, Amma, and Theo Grace. These are some of my, they're kind of like my, I'm their Auntie T. Yeah. I'm their Auntie T. And they are a beautiful couple who not only sings music, but shares their wisdom out, especially through the Gene Keys community. And Amelie will post some links to a video she does with astrology. These guys are magic. Just like Miss Jess Magic, I think you're going to find that you're going to be lifted up by their presence. Thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah. So good to be here. Ooh, reverb. Hello out there. Hello world. Hello imaginal selves. Keep breathing into your heart. Keep letting it flower in the dark. Keep becoming who you are. Because there's one love, one life, many stars, one sky, one dark, one light, one power, one presence, no fight, no end, no center. Every single breath is a pleasure. Let it in, let it out, and wrap it around the edges of who I think I am, and open at the seams of our dreams. Broken open, letting the light forces pulling like a tide in this moment. Love is alive and we are holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light. Yeah. Hey Buddhas, hey enlightened ones, sitting inside of each and every one of us who know exactly what this time is all about. And hello, all the scared little children freaking out inside as well. If love is the organizing principle of the universe, then may we love the parts of ourselves that are incoherent. Because perhaps coherence is being with exactly how we are in this moment, and things get better from there.
One love, one life, many stars, one sky, one dark, one light, one power, one presence, no fight, no end, no center. Every single breath is a pleasure. Let it in, let it out, and wrap it around the edges of who I think I am, and open at the seams of our dreams. Broken open, letting the light forces pulling like a tide in this moment. Love is alive and we are holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light. holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light. We are holding it, we'd be holding it, because it's holding us. And not holding back this coherence anymore. We're just here in this coherence, and we're relaxing into it. So let's sing that. We are here in this coherence. We relax into it.
Sing it with us.
We are here in this coherence. We relax into it. We breathe in and we breathe in this coherence. We relax into it. Yes, we breathe in this coherence. We relax into it. And we're broken open, letting the light forces pulling like a tide in this moment. Love is alive and we are holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light. We are holding this golden light.
Yeah, I love that we love those incoherent parts of ourselves. Let's all just really do that tonight. Thank you guys. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, my next guest is, gosh, my best girlfriend on the planet, Miss Kimberly Carter Gamble. And I'd like to bring her on screen if we can right now. Hello, my sweet sister. Kimberly and I have been, gosh, traveling all around the world, doing all kinds of fun things. And I've really so appreciated her friendship. It's one of those ones where we can talk about anything and we can dive into anything, the hard stuff, the good stuff. And we always really stay true and present with each other as we do that and always find our way to the other side together. And Kimberly is the producer, director, co-writer of the globally acclaimed documentary Thrive, What on Earth Will It Take? And they are now preparing the launch of the sequel, Thrive 2, This Is What It Takes, which is going to be an amazing gift on the planet. And Kimberly, I am so, so grateful that you came on today. And you're another one of those people, for me, like Claudia, it's time for your voice to be heard. And so I really love that you have this chance to do that.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody. This is really just a lovely way to spend Saturday night. So I appreciate it a lot. And, you know, when Teresa first was talking about coherence, that she was putting together the Coherence Pulse and that the theme of this gathering tonight would be coherence. And I was thinking about it, and I was especially thinking about how good it feels and how challenging it is to maintain outside of these groups, you know, and we're researching what's going on and hearing all different kinds of things. And so I thought, well, I'm going to look up coherence. I'm actually going to look it up, the definition, and see if I can get some clue that might help figure out like how to maintain it better. What is it? And it turns out the definition of coherence is the quality of forming a unified whole. And it's actually applied mostly in the definitions to human thought when something's logical and makes sense as a whole. So, you know, an example of coherence is if a story or an argument just doesn't have any inconsistencies. And I realized that was my clue. I sort of went, oh, I can see no wonder the coherence that we feel in these times together can be so hard to maintain, because there's no coherent story for us to be in resonance with. It's, you know, there are people who say, gosh, to keep this virus at bay, you know, everyone should stay inside, sick and healthy alike. And then others say, no, only those who are most vulnerable should be isolated. There's, you know, I know people who are convinced that the virus is man-made, others who say absolutely no way, and wading through, you know, that it's good for the economy if the Federal Reserve gives trillions of dollars to the central banks, because they need to be strong and out of debt during these tumultuous times. And then those who say, God, that's just what happened during 2008. We need to give that money to the, you know, people who are out of work and small business owners. And then there's like, it's okay if the people who regulate vaccines also make money from having them used. And then someone says that's a completely dangerous conflict of interest. Or, you know, it's important in order to keep the social distance under control, that people be chipped and tracked, and that's legit for the social distancing. And others who say that's a fundamental violation of our right to privacy and to controlling what happens with our own body. And it's like, whoa, no wonder it's really hard to sustain an ongoing sense of coherence when these really important things we're hearing and feeling all, you know, most of us have some place that we live among those differences. And clearly, if there's ever a time that we need to have a coherent story that makes sense, this is it. And so as I was reflecting on it, I thought, you know, when we cut off different opinions, we sort of guarantee incoherence, because we're unnaturally rejecting a part of the picture. And I've been an investigative journalist and a filmmaker for decades, and it's not possible to effectively search for truth from one source. But listening to people with whom we disagree is a really challenging practice. I mean, I'm fascinated by how physically uncomfortable I can get just from hearing an idea that I disagree with. And, you know, particularly if I feel like it's threatening something that is really critical. And I think that's what's going on, is that we're actually feeling really threatened by the differences that are showing up right now. And the stakes are higher than ever. So if we're gonna have coherence outside of these gatherings in our collaborative effort to really reclaim and maintain our health and our freedom, I think we have to get better at understanding each other's perspectives so that we can find a coherent truth. And, you know, we can't do that if things are censored, or if there's stuff going on that we don't know about behind closed doors. And we can't do that if we coerce someone into doing it our way, or if we allow ourselves to be coerced. The coherence of our collaboration for health and freedom, I think it starts with being and then with doing. Because you know, the conversations that we have outside totally reflect the conversation that we have inside. Just like the love we share with somebody, we have to first feel for ourselves. So I feel like this time right now, and it's it's an inside job with huge outside ramifications. And another word I think is really relevant in all of this is integrity. And it's close to coherence. Integrity is the state of being undivided and unified. And I believe integrity is what can connect coherence and health and freedom. Because then our meditations and our conversations and our actions will all have an opportunity to align. And like Roland was saying, that, you know, it really matters. It all matters. Our innermost thoughts, our conversations, every action, it's all part of one. And I'm confident that our commitment now to this alignment, expanding the resonance that we feel in these gatherings out into our social interactions and into our discussions, especially across worldview, when we're talking to people with whom we disagree or listening to people, that by doing that, we really have the potential to bring whole new levels of health and freedom to a truly thriving world. And I'm really grateful to be sharing this opportunity with all of you, and also to learning these essential skills with you all. So thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everybody who's here. I really am grateful to be on the journey with you.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. Kimberly's dedication to creating a thriving world is just unprecedented, and how hard she works and what she's pulling together on our behalf is going to be such a real blessing on the planet, Kimberly. And you gave me some links to share, and I wondered if you wanted to say something about that, of some things maybe that people could watch to help them kind of look at some different sides.
Well, you know, Foster and I remember our mail carrier saying she couldn't figure us out because we got publications from every imaginable source, you know, and I've really worked hard to continue to do that. So I listen to everybody with every imaginable bit of information and perspective on this thing. And by doing that, I get to determine for myself, what do I believe? And then Foster comes up with what he believes, and you come up with what you believe, and we can all talk about it. And it is challenging. I mean, my body reacts sometimes, right? When I'm listening to something that I'm just like, oh my God, I have to stop it sometimes, you know. But when I do it and I get through it, what happens is I benefit, and I learn to understand something about the worldview. And I've always had this quote on my wall. It says, I'm a friend of your soul and an enemy of your project, right? Because there are people whose projects I want to stop, and at the same time, I never want to lose this connection that we all know is true, our ultimate truth. So I'm putting links in there that have perspectives that aren't necessarily ones you're going to run across, but I encourage you to consider them and talk with people and expand not just your hearts, but your minds. And toward that end, I wish us a coherent story to emerge about what's going on and who we are in it and what we can do about it.
Thank you, Kimberly. And I put a link to Thrive On. They put up a site. So if you want to put your email in there, you'll get some notifications about the release of the trailer and the film that's coming out really soon in the fall. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Teresa.
Beautiful. All right, next we're going to my friend David Lion. First time I met David was at the Resonance Retreat last year. We brought him in to help us with our theme, Magic is Real, and he certainly brought it on. Super excited to have you on the line, David. I'm going to read this one thing. David Lion is a gifted young man whose specialty is helping people find their way and reconnect to their soul essence. And he does that through his presence and through his music. And he's also a channeler of thought. And I think we're going to get a little bit of everything tonight.
Thanks so much for the introduction, Teresa. I'm happy to be here. What's going on, everybody? Tuning in the virtual world. It's nighttime over here, as you can see. And yeah, when Teresa invited me to come play with you guys over here and be a part of the experience, immediately I started to wonder. I'm like, all right, how do I want to approach this? How do I want to play with this? And I pretty much just let it go, and I didn't think much about it until the thoughts started to drop in. And the only thing that actually really excited me to perform for you guys, because I actually haven't performed entertainment in a good while. I've been spending a lot of my time more on mysticism and showing people how to embody their gifts and their spirit. But magic as a performance is also just such a powerful way of igniting us into our hearts and into the possibilities of our minds. And so what I wanted to try with you guys today is genuinely something I've never tried before. I've never practiced it. I never tried it. And so this could very well be the dumbest thing that I could perform, but it also has a lot of excitement, which for me tells me there's a lot of potency and possibility in it. So this is what I want to try. What I've brought with me over here is a single card that I've folded up as a prediction of sorts. And we're going to get back to this. I'm just going to keep this in full view. But before we get into this, I'm going to be pulling aside, I believe Marshall is going to be playing this game with me. I want to tell you a little bit about, I guess, my childhood, and not even just my childhood, but just me as a person. So ever since I was a kid, I've always had the unique ability to read people's minds. And I know it sounds very far out there and bizarre, but it's actually something that all of us can do. But what I realized what I was doing is I'm not actually going in and reading the literal thoughts that you're thinking. But what I was doing is I had a way of tuning my frequency to the same frequency going on in your mind. So I'm literally thinking the same thoughts at the same moment. And so I'm picking up on the vibrations. And so what I thought would be cool as an experiment is if I could coherently get you to tune into what I'm thinking and this prediction I have in my hand, which, let's be honest, it's not a very high chance of this working, but I believe we're a pretty magical group of people, right? So, Marshall, are you down to play this game with me?
I am, brother. Let's do it.
Cool. Perfect. And so all I'd like you to do is to take a moment and to just close your eyes. We got a lot of people in here, but I just want you to take a moment to tune into yourself, because that's the most important thing we can tune into. So just taking a good, strong breath. And as you begin to tune into yourself, I want you to imagine as if you're just clearing out the space inside of yourself, almost like bringing yourself to a blank canvas. Perfect. And in your mind, just in your mind, all I want you to do is to imagine a deck of cards. Just imagine a deck of cards. It doesn't matter how you're imagining it, whether it's in your hands, whether they're all over the floor. Just imagining a deck of cards. And now imagine all those cards magically gathering into one hand of yours. And all I want you to do is say out loud, let me know, do you want to keep the number cards or the picture cards?
I'll keep the number cards.
You want to keep the number cards. Perfect. So you're going to take all the number cards.
Yeah.
And I want you to imagine just tossing them up in the air. Perfect. So now all you're left with are the picture cards. So now I want you to follow along in your imagination as best as possible. I'm tuning into you here as well. I want you to notice in picture cards there's jacks, there's queens, and there's kings. Which one do you want to keep? Jacks, queens, or kings?
Queens.
Queens. 100% sure, or do you want to change your mind?
I'm 100% sure.
100% sure. So we're going to get rid of the jacks and the kings. And now in your mind, we've narrowed it down to queens, where you have clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. So which queen would you like to go with?
I'm going to go with diamonds, David.
Queen of diamonds. Do you want to change your mind?
No, that feels good.
That's what feels good.
Yes.
So that's how we play this game, right? We go with what feels good. You said Queen of Diamonds.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm going to show you something. I'll do this as slow as possible. Make sure you guys could all see this here. I want you to see how I have one card here folded up. And that one card is the Queen of Diamonds. Make sure you guys could see that over here.
Woo!
Beautiful. Beautiful.
How did you do that?
We in sync, brother.
One mind, one mind, one heart.
Yes. Well, thank you for playing that game with me.
Thank you, brother. That was fun.
And I'm happy it worked. That was genuinely the first time I've ever done that in my life. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Beautiful. So that's
great.
Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys for now. I do have something else coming up a little bit later, but I thought I'd start it off with a little bit of the magic flavor to get the imagination going and to just bring a little bit of joy into your lives.
Magic is real around you, my friend. Thank you, David. Beautiful.
That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you.
And we were behind the scenes when he asked Marshall if he would do it. They haven't had any contact, no conversations about it. Marshall had no idea what was going on. That was the real deal. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely nothing was prearranged. That was as authentic as you saw it.
I don't know how that happened.
All right. All right, well, let's bring up our next guest, our musical guest, and this is Cornflower. And Cornflower, thank you again so much for coming in. Elijah Ray couldn't be here, and we got you, and it's like you guys are like the same soul brothers. So happy to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me in. And, yeah, Elijah and I go way back, and I think beyond this lifetime. So it's an honor to stand in for him.
Yeah. And Cornflower is kind of just setting up the music before we're going to take a little pause and do a little bit of a centering meditation. And so I just kind of take everything that's happened so far in the show and just really hold it in your heart and let his music just kind of like open us up more and more into that space in our heart that we can begin to pulse into the world. So here we go.
Thank you all so much. I'm beaming in from Ashland Shire, Southern Oregon, and this song is called Awaken.
In the trees, in the leaves, all of the sun shines down on us. We receive the language of love. Hey, all the love in the world, realizing itself awaken. All the love in the world, realizing itself awaken. All the love in the world, realizing itself awaken. All the love in the world, realizing itself awaken. Awaken, 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 awaken. Said awaken, 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 awaken. Awaken, 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 awaken,
Yeah, beautiful. All of the love in the world is awakening inside of us right here, right now. Thank you so much. We put some links in for Cornflower. I know many of you want to go and find out what else he's doing. He's having a lot of fun on the planet. All right, well, we're going to settle now into just doing just a little centering meditation, a little heart-centered meditation with all this love that we have pulsing through us. I'm just going to share some music on my computer. Let me get that going here. I'm looking forward to this too. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Oh, love you so much, Manose. Thank you so much. Beautiful. Wow. Wow, beautiful. Well, we have going to turn this over to Deborah and Scott and Ken. They have some things to share about their wonderful fundraising, and I, want to say it's really wonderful for us to pulse waves of coherence and our love out, and sometimes how we do that is by sharing some of the resources that we have flow through. So I hope that you'll support what the work that they're doing here and some of the people they're supporting, and also know that Jess and Entheo and Cornflower and all of them coming up soon again. So Scott, thank you, and Deborah, happy to turn it over to you.
Thank you, Teresa. What an amazing night we're all having. Isn't it incredible? Wow. I mean, it's beautiful. And, since we talk about the caterpillar, the butterfly scenario, one of the elements of that story is that in this suey, gooey soup, once the caterpillar's kind of died and gone into its thing, it's the butterfly cells that find each other. And as the butterfly cells find each other and attract and come together, then they create the butterfly. And so much of that is what's happening tonight. The people who came in because they wanted to hear Gregg Braden are then discovering all these other new people. And the people that have been watching our show previously are now discovering new people. And we're all discovering each other. And it's really beautiful. And so this is the part of the show where we are going to talk a little bit about our GoFundMe campaign. And I also wanted just to take a minute and let you know about another important part of this, and that is the Love Coach Academy, who's sharing, and one of the sponsors of this program, is my organization. And we provide free online webinars every day at 9 o'clock and 6 p.m. Pacific time. And they're all different with our coaches, providing empathy, relationship skills, tools. So go to lovecoachacademy.com or the Love Coach Academy page on Facebook, and you can learn more about all that we offer. And we really want to also thank the people that have been so generous in supporting our GoFundMe campaign so far. It's been amazing. We've raised thousands and thousands of dollars. You're going to hear a little bit more about the support, but I want to acknowledge just briefly, I'm just going to put the spotlight on Jay Mayer, who's been extremely generous in supporting our GoFundMe, which has allowed us to really help a lot of people. So a big twinkling for Jay. Thank you so, so much. And Jay's going to be one of our sponsors for the final 2 shows of this set that we're doing. So thank you very, very much, Jay. And I also want to acknowledge, once again, the incredible work that the primary partner I've been working with on this this all started as a fundraiser for Fantuzzi. And Deborah and I kind of put together this little fundraiser for Fantuzzi. And people just enjoyed it so much. It was like, hey, let's do this on a regular basis. So it kind of grew, and here we are. And we've got more people watching tonight than ever before, which is really, really exciting. And so to learn a little bit more about what we're doing, I do want to turn it over to Deborah.
Yes, and a big thank you to Teresa. That was such a beautiful meditation. And meditation is always a key to what we do here. We started this on April 4th with a mass meditation, global mass meditation, where 4 million people were meditating all over the world. And it's such an important thing for us to do right now. And that was so beautiful. So thank you. And like Scott said, we have a couple more shows, amazing shows we have planned. So next week, our theme is going to be Sacred Activism, Follow Your Heart. And as Gregg said, we don't think this time is about sitting and waiting for things to shift outside. It's really when divine mission is coming through and you're getting your instructions from the divine of what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to contribute to this shift right now, because this is a very highly activated evolutionary time. So that's going to be our theme next week. And we're inviting people that have really demonstrated that so strongly in their lives. Marianne Williamson is going to be with us. And of course, she ran for president, and she was the voice of all of us for such a difficult role, such a prominent role. We are also going to have John Robbins, who was the voice of the New Planet when he wrote his book, Diet for a New Planet. We're also going to have Andrew Harvey, who coined the meme sacred activism. We're also going to invite Nina Simons, who founded Bioneers and is still running Bioneers, a major conference for ecology that attracts people worldwide. And we're going to be honoring Lori Grace, who's an amazing eco-activist and on the forefront of election reform. So we're going to learn a lot about what people do to really cultivate that inner sacred activism and then bring it into action. And then we've got another amazing show on May 30th, and our theme is going to be co-creating our vision as the new normal. So we want to co-create our vision, not look to the media to tell us what the new normal is. We plan to do it together. And that's why if we all stand up together, if we all continue to collaborate, we can do that. And then we hope with your support, we're going to come back for a whole nother series and continue to have topics and bring amazing people, musicians, entertainers, and all of that, because we feel like this is such an important medium for us to work with. So we're committed to that. If you can support us, then we'll move forward. And how you do that is with the GoFundMe campaign. And we are using new paradigm consciousness in everything we do. So we are using the gifting economy, which means we gift this show to you. It's a gift from us. And then you can choose to gift back whatever's in your heart. But we're going to take those funds, which could be multiplied a lot as we all reach out to the world, and gift them back to some valuable organizations that are helping us right now that will then gift back into the community. So the rippling keeps happening with the gifting. So we're going to put the GoFundMe campaign in the chat box, but you can also go to the website GoFundMe and type in Global Peace Tribe, and you'll see our link. And Ken, our partner, has been finding these amazing organizations that we've been gifting, and he's going to share more about that now. So thank you, Ken.
Let's see if am I muted or not? No, I'm not muted. Okay, so we're going to first start with Ashel, and he was our beneficiary from last week's fundraiser. And Essential Food Medicine, they take surplus foods and products that are going to be fated to be thrown away and transform them into fresh juice and soups and smoothies and natural medicines for free to most vulnerable populations. And I want to have Ashel talk to us for a minute and just tell us how you're doing.
Last week, interesting with
Ashel, your internet connection is not strong enough, so you're breaking up and we're not able to hear you. Ken, do you want to kind of tell people a little bit about the organization?
Well, I did that already, but I know that they needed a lot of money we gave them $1,000 last week for their fundraising, and I know they had some car repairs they had to do and some other mechanical things that they want to do and buy some more products to give to the customers. And so we're really proud to present that $1,000 check to them last week. And there you go. There's a little information about them. And then for this week, I want to bring in Jim, who is the part of the San Francisco Meals on Wheels. And they're since 1970 have been around, been serving the community, mostly seniors aged 60 and older who have the greatest physical and social and economic needs and who have limited ability to purchase food. So I'm gonna have Jim, hopefully he can not have an interruption there, but tell us about a minute what you're about.
Yeah, well, first off, I want to thank you guys so much for having us on. This is really quite a magical show, so thank you so much. Meals on Wheels San Francisco, as you mentioned, has been serving the homebound senior community in San Francisco since 1970. So this year is our 50th year. And we're helping individuals who cannot get out to get meals. So we last year produced and delivered 2.2 million meals to homebound seniors throughout San Francisco, about 4,000, between 4,000 and 5,000. So it is an incredible service, but it is more than just about the meals. All of our drivers do wellness checks. So when they're delivering those meals, they check on each of the older adults to make sure that they're doing okay. And if they're not, then we can give them some assistance as well. So we run a variety of programs. Our home delivered meals program is our main staple, but we also run a home delivered groceries program in partnership with the San Francisco Marin Food Bank, as well as other nutritional and social work programs. So it's incredible. We're very, very fortunate to have a very supportive community here in the greater Bay Area for our work, and particularly during this really challenging time with COVID-19. So we're seeing a lot of housebound seniors who are fearful for going out because, you know, they are a vulnerable population. Many have underlying medical conditions. So we are there for them, and we can only do it with the community's help. So
Thank you, Jim, for helping us raise more money for the Meals on Wheels Foundation. And we hope to, you know, just keep on giving to all these different nonprofits, and we'll come back again. But remember that if you donate $77, you'll get 2 weekend passes to the New Living Expo. And if you donate $99, you'll get a free 1-hour coaching session with the Love Coach. And if you do $200, you'll get a private session with Scott, another Love Coach. So thank you all for helping out our wonderful GoFundMe campaign and Saturday Night Live for the Global Peace Pride. Yay.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, everybody. And really want to appreciate a lot of the donations that are coming in. And later on in the program, I'm going to acknowledge some of the people who've been donating. So many of you have been donating $10, $20, and we really thank you for that. And also want to thank some of the people that have been very, very generous. One person who's been very generous we want to acknowledge also is Mark Sims. And you're going to get a chance to hear Mark speak next week. He's one of our sponsors of next week's show on sacred activism. And Mark, thank you so much for your generous donation last week. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to getting to know you more fully next week. Thank you very, very much. All right. And so with that, I think we're going to turn it back over to Teresa. I just want everybody to take a minute and really just maximum grace for this woman who has put together such a terrific show. And believe me, I know it's not easy putting these shows together. And she's done a fantastic job. So thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Thank you. Well, I'm just going to hand it right over to Mama Jess Magic. I know we've been wanting her to come back, where we're saying we need more Jess. So let's go to Bali to our Mama Jess. Look at that smile. Like, you just have to smile the second you see that smile. You just can't help it.
You're making me blush.
Yeah. Well, I really want to hand it over to you. And I also just want to say, like, thank you guys so much for all of the work that you're doing to do, you know, raise these funds and give them to other people. And I know, Jess, that your music will just help to lift that up, you know, our generous heart, just to give what we can. Yeah. So take it away, Mama.
You know, the word amen means, and so it is. My brother True taught me that too.
Yeah.
So I say amen, hallelujah.
Amen, hallelujah.
One of the share in that announcement really moved me around using this time to really listen to what's ours to do. And one of the things that I've been really listening to is how to use this spirit of gospel music and these kind of the sound of the traditional spirituals to raise ourselves through the divide, through the dogma that was traditionally associated with certain types of spiritual music, and up into a place of pure devotion where we can all truly unite. And so the code of harmony, literally vocal harmony, I think really shows us how we can be our own unique contribution of our voice while also listening to the unique contributions of other voices, and then learn how to attune, which creates coherence. So this song was, I learned this song through my brother, True Osborne, and we performed this at Burning Man this past year in a pyramid, the biggest structure on the playa, for those of you who've been to Burning Man and maybe even saw this. And we had about 500 people that spontaneously transformed into a pop-up gospel choir. And this song that we're about to share with you was one of the highlights of it. So I'll feed you the lyrics, and this is one of those moments where you don't have to think about how good you sound, because it's not about how good you sound. It's about how free you let yourself be as you sing and as you weave your voice into the harmonies that Jenna and I create. So find your own harmony, find your own tone, and let yourself just be set free inside of that. You are my strength. You are my strength. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. Strength like no other. Reaches to me. You are my hope. You are my hope. Hope like no other. Hope like no other. Hope like no other. Hope like no other. Reaches to me. Reaches to me. In the wholeness of your grace. In the wholeness of your grace. In the power of your name. In the power of your name. You lift me up. You lift me up. You lift me up. You lift me up. Unfailing love. Unfailing love. Yeah, I'm a mama, sing it. Stronger than mountains. Yes, Andréa. Deeper than oceans. Deeper than the ocean. Reaches to me. Reaches to me. One more time, reaches to me. Reaches to me. We're gonna go through that whole thing one time so you can really let yourself sink into this and let the you be anything that the you want the you to be. The you could be your inner child. The you could be your own heart. The you could be spirit. The you could be the planet, Pachamama. The you could be someone that you want to just feel more connected to right now. You are my strength. You are my strength. Strength like no other. A strength like no other. Strength like no other. Reaches to me. Reaches to me. You are my hope. You are my hope. Hope like no other. A hope like no other. Hope like no other. Hope like no other. Yes, cornflower, sing it. Reaches to me. Yes, Marshall. In the wholeness of your grace. In the wholeness of your grace. In the power. In the power of your name. Yes, Manose. You lift me up. Really feel it. You lift me up. You lift me up. Unfailing, you're playing along, yes, 432. Unfailing love. Yes, the flute, oh, stronger than the mountains, deeper than oceans, deeper than the ocean, reaches to me, reaches to me, calling it in a little bit closer, reaches, reaches to me. Reaches to me, calling it a little closer. Reaches to me, this new world that we're creating together. Reaches to me, what you want wants you. Reaches to me, one more time all together. Reaches to me. Thank you. Thank you for praying together.
Thank you for your beautiful love, both of you. Always, always, and always. Yeah, let's send those girls some of our love. Yeah, thank you.
What you do here, Mama T, and this whole community by uniting science with spirituality, with community in these ways really does do something for us in terms of transcending separation and bridging worlds and realizing that those worlds are one. So I just honor what's happening here in such a real way. I feel it in a visceral level. It's really happening. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's really happening. Jess is going to be joining me for a virtual retreat that we're going to be hosting in August. She's going to be kind of like a co-MC along with David Lion also that we're going to see, and we're going to bring in lots of music and beautiful things, and we're going to do this for 4 days straight. So imagine what's going to happen when we take an evening like this and we actually have some sustained pulsing going on. All right. So next up is Marshall Lefferts. Marshall is the author of an amazing new book, Cosmometry, Exploring the Holofractal Nature of the Cosmos, which is available on Amazon, and we'll put a link in the chat. He's a member of the board of directors of the Resonance Science Foundation and a faculty of the Resonance Academy. And he's an associate producer of the documentary Thrive, and is co-directing the visual effects for Thrive 2, which is coming out this year. And oh my, you guys are gonna love the visual effects of this film, because the hero in this film, where last time it was the torus, the hero in this film is the unified field, as you can see behind Marshall there. And Marshall, it's just so great to have you on. Longtime beloved of mine and co-traveler on this journey, has certainly inspired the experience of coherence in me every day.
Oh, indeed, so true, and likewise for me, Teresa. We continue to do so every day. And what a beautiful gathering tonight! What a blessing to be here with everybody, and to share in this space together. There's such a deep feeling current, the music that everybody's been bringing in, and all the words of wisdom and sharing. You can just feel it throughout our whole being, and really that's what it's all about. And that's what the integration of our mind, our hearts, our bodies, our physical bodies, that is the coherence that we're here to engender together. So thank you everybody for being here, and I'm really grateful to be here as well. So tonight I want to talk about the time we're in and the times we're heading towards. And it really appears we're in a time when questions are rising up everywhere at a magnitude that seems really to surpass available answers. There's just so many questions. And actually, that's potentially a good thing, I think. The world as we knew it has, for the most part, come to an abrupt stop, really a cosmic pause, during which we have been given time for self and societal reflection. And within this moment of inner reflection and questioning is one of the greatest opportunities the human family has ever been given, I think. And that's a chance to evaluate how we're doing on this planet and consider the ways in which we can do even better as a whole. Now, clearly, a quick assessment tells us that we have some major issues to address if we are to pull out of the nosedive we've been on, inevitably leading towards environmental and socioeconomic systems collapse if we persisted with business as usual for much longer. And whether naturally occurring or as a result of human error or malicious intent, however this virus event came to be, it is certainly causing a profound pattern interruption, forcing us to put on the brakes of the train of human activity that was running headlong towards its own dead end, clearly so. And so at this time of the great pause of 2020, perhaps being in the chrysalis, as Gregg talked about, we find ourselves at an inflection point, a bifurcation in the shared path of life. And we are faced with making vital choices that will define the quality of the human experience on Earth for generations to come. Every day, we're being overwhelmed really with information and memes and scenarios and agendas that range from the draconian mandates being peddled as the only chance of avoiding massive deaths and returning to some sense of normal life, which include the ideas of mandatory vaccination and vastly increased surveillance to trace, as they call it, our every move through microchipping and imposed installation of the 5G network. And then to the governments deciding like, now is a good time to admit, hey, guess what, everyone? UFOs are real. Great timing to throw that into the mix. And then also to calling forth the deeper presence of our beings as living embodiments and agents of love, joy, and peace in the world, as exemplified by tonight's gathering and the countless others arising everywhere in the same spirit. It is this spirit of centering ourselves in love, joy, and peace that is the foundation upon which we can and must address the big questions towering over us right now. The answers to which and actions that follow will determine our path forward and the co-creation of our future reality. At the same time, we are faced with massive technological, societal, health, agricultural, and environmental problems that need fully grounded, scientifically sourced solutions. And the good news is that through understanding the principles of harmonic science, integrating resonance-based physics, cosmic geometry, and the universal system of harmonic order we call music, we have a new paradigm of understanding the workings of nature and the cosmos and the opportunity, perhaps truly for the first time, to bring ourselves into harmony with nature and the cosmos. Now, clearly, we have been operating with technologies and societal constructs that are causing great detriment, that are indeed dissonant with life, or out of harmony, and fundamentally causing harm. It's time now that we face the music, as the saying goes, and make a conscious shift from causing harm to causing harmony. From causing harm to causing harmony. It is by choosing the path of creating harmony, both within ourselves and our relationships, and within the world around us, that we can and will claim our coherence. Perhaps the most vital aspect of this quest is the harmonization of our technologies to make them beneficial to life. We are increasingly inundated with electromagnetic and petrochemical and pharmaceutical and agricultural and economic and many other technologies that bear in mind little consideration for the consequences of their detrimental effects on humanity and nature. And imagine turning this paradigm completely around. Imagine having each and every technology be evaluated for whether its impact will be harmonious to life or cause detriment. For example, in the realm of electromagnetic radiation, such as used in all radio and the cell phone and Wi-Fi and X-ray and now 5G technology, there was a meta-study of over 500 research papers conducted by 2 scientists in the Netherlands that identified which frequencies are beneficial to biological life and which are detrimental. So imagine this information being used to tune all of our technologies to beneficial frequencies. And what a dramatic effect that would have on our physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. So I believe that such a process of consciously harmonizing our technologies, founded upon resonance-based harmonic science, is not only humanity's great opportunity at this time, it is actually our greatest imperative if we are to claim and create a world that achieves stability, coherence, and a universal experience of peace on Earth. And so I say, let's choose this path of harmony at every level of our beings, now and forever going forward. I know I'm in, and I know all of you are in as well, because that's why we're all here. And I'm so grateful to be here with you on this journey and to celebrate being in harmony and bringing harmony into this planet, because really that's what we're here to do. And we know it in our hearts, we know it in our minds, and we actually know how to do it. And we have all that we need, and so much of what is needed in the transformation of our world technologically is already here and just needs to be released into the world. And it is coming soon. So thank you all.
Thank you, Marshall, so much. And really, you saw some comments in there about Marshall's book. It's incredible. It really takes so much of the science of Nassim and so many others and makes it like really accessible for the regular guy, regular girl. And it's so important, Marshall, that you're getting your message out. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me tonight. Love you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to bring Andréa up next. And I just want to acknowledge that we are running a little long on our time. Nobody's really gone over, but we just have such a full show. And so we have great stuff still coming up. We have more from Entheo. We have more for Cornfield. We have EarthDance coming up with a prayer for peace. We have a nice kind of closing up of the evening. So stay with us. And let's bring Andréa on. And look at Marshall getting lots of love in there. Lots of love in there. Look at she's got her cosmometry book. I love that.
Right on,
so yeah, Andréa is the director of Art Crystal. She's managing the education and sales, and she's part of the Resonance Science Foundation and the Taurus Tech teams. And I just I have a real commitment to some of these young women who are rising up, like Amma and Theo. You saw her earlier, and just that little bit of wisdom drop. And Andréa and other people like Kimberly and Claudia. It's just time for us to hear from some of these women, Jess and Jenna. And so I really wanted to give you a moment to share some of your love tonight, Andréa, with the community.
Thank you, Teresa, and thank you for doing that. Always, it's you're so genuine. Thank you, and thank you, Global Peace Tribe, Global Coherence Pulse, and everyone for being here. And I appreciate how Kimberly mentioned her referencing the dictionary for the definition of coherence. I do that often because from the coherence tree, there's several branches of explanation: fixed relationship between phase of waves, coherent light, heart coherence, and on and on. So broadly, I consider coherence as a system operating in a state of balance and harmony, an optimized state achieved through efficient and effective communication and information flow. And I use the term coherence pretty much every day. And what I'm beginning to find is beyond the definition, it's a personal journey. And coherence is not a destination. It's a state of being, effortless action, as Claudia had mentioned this afternoon. And to truly claim our coherence, we must commit to it as a journey. It's not always unicorns and butterflies. It's also acceptance of the circumstances that challenge us and meeting adversity from that heart-centered space. It's being flexible, adaptable, and rooted in our purpose. As we remember, the wind doesn't break the tree that bends. And it's also gratitude for the wind to give us the opportunity to learn to bend and flow. It's a dance. It's a collective dance. It's a presentation of everyone's individual grace. It's a party, like tonight. Everyone's showing up, sharing their gifts, their wisdom, radiating from their heart, all unified from a common purpose. So coherence is a really good party. And so let's dance together and live it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Andréa. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Live it now. Life's a party. Live it now. All right, we're going to go next to Entheo. We're going to get a little bit more music. And then we have a little special prayer we need to put out tonight that I want your support in. So stay with us. Here we go. Love you guys so much. Thank you for being here.
That was so beautiful, Andréa. Mm-hmm. Poetry. It's a party.
It's a party.
This is a song for the earth and the sun and the unity of everything. Calling on the medicine of the forest, living in the only moment there is, flowing like an ocean, green and golden, like a lotus from the mud. She gives everything everyone needs to be free. Yes, she gives everything everyone needs to be free. So we can be all we can be, all we can be, all we can be. So we can be all we can be, all we can be, all we can be. Oh, breathe in the sunshine. Oh, fill up with the one life. Oh, bring on the impossible, living through the struggle to find it's ever more beautiful. Chair dance.
Chair dance. Everybody chair dance.
Ever more beautiful.
You can also stand up if you want to.
Get a cornflower.
That's right. There's so much beauty everywhere. Even in the places I forgot to look. Don't despair. When you turn your gaze upon all that fertility, it's like dark soil. It gives birth to something beautiful, so much more beautiful. If I can go from causing harm to causing harmony, I'm looking at the dissonance inside of my own being and taking responsibility for what is mine to turn around and open up and look out that new door, like gaze upon what's possible when we remember. So I'm gonna pass it on to you, pass it on to you.
'Cause we just gotta be all we can be, all we can be, all we can be. so we can be all we can be, all we can be, all we can be. Yeah. Oh, breathe in the sunshine. Oh, fill up with the one life. Bring on the impossible, living through the struggle to find what's ever more beautiful.
That's right. You are
ever more beautiful. Yeah, yeah, you.
You.
Ever more beautiful. Hey, Gaia, you looking real beautiful for 4.5 billion years old.
Oh,
ever more beautiful.
We aging well. Oh, that's right. Evolution looks good on you.
Ever more beautiful. Ever more beautiful.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Do you know, Amma just freestyles like that. She doesn't have a plan until she opens her mouth, and then all of a sudden this magic comes out. Girl.
Those two, he just held off on you.
Yeah. He's a good freestyler, but nobody matches you, Mama. You can just take that in.
All right, well, keep it rolling.
All right. Yeah, here we go. So next up, we have a few more really juicy things that will bring us down with EarthDance coming in with a prayer for peace. But we have David Lion first. Kind of bring him back on. We're going to see how else he's going to blow our mind.
What's going on, everybody? Good to be back. So, yeah, this time for this set, I really felt more to speak magic. We did some entertainment, we did some performance magic, but right now my heart was really just feeling called to just share a few things and speak some magic into our vibrations and our lives along the theme of coherence. Because there's a lot of things going on the planet right now. A lot of people are in chaos. There's a lot of people who are thriving. And one of the things that I've most realized throughout my life, and the message that I've been continuously sharing, is the importance of really getting in tune with our spirits during this time. Because ultimately what I see is the purpose for everything happening on the world right now. The higher purpose I really see is unity, right? We're all being brought into greater forms of unity. There's greater forms of togetherness. The planet's healing itself. Even though we're all in quarantine in our chrysalis, kind of like a cocoon, there's so much more togetherness happening now than I've seen even when we weren't in quarantine, right? There's new generosity-based systems. So these are some really magical times. And so I just wanted to speak a little bit into the idea that I call living magic, and that for me, that's my movement. For me, living magic is the opposite of living struggle. And so just wanted to shine some light for, whoever might need a little bit of a magical message, just with the idea of what it takes to really tune into our spirit. Because a lot of time it's talked about, and, of course, there's meditation and there's all these things that we could use as tools. But what I love to explore is how is it that we can constantly live in flow and in synchronicity and experience that state of living magic versus living struggle, right? And so one of the two very key tools that I always suggest to everybody is I recently did a shine challenge with my channeling group, and it was a 7-day shine challenge where the idea of the shine challenge was for 7 days to listen to nothing else other than your intuition and your inspiration. Nothing else. your intuition and your inspiration for 7 days. If it wasn't intuitive, if it wasn't inspired, you don't do it once whatsoever. And the effect, which was so beautiful, you know, at first people were like, oh no, you know, twist my arm, you're gonna make me listen to my inspiration. But of course, certain challenges come up when, you know, the smaller mind or the ego, you know, has, let's say, guilt kick in or wanting to please. But what people found that as they committed themselves to honoring their intuition and their inspiration in every moment of their everyday life, that this was for them the ultimate path to experiencing coherence inside themselves. You know, it's because your intuition and your inspiration is quite literally the language of your higher self, the language of source, of God, whatever label you want to place on that. It's so anytime you're listening to your intuition or your inspiration, it's like you're bringing those energies into your being and embodying more of your higher self. And your higher self is that aspect of you that is purely intuitive, purely in flow, and that never needs to go against the grain. It's always living in that perfect harmony, so to speak. And so one of the reflections that I just wanted to offer you guys is to maybe ask yourself, what inspirations do you have on the back burner? Or what intuitions might you have on the back burner that if you were to listen to it, it would bring you into higher flow, into higher synchronicity, into higher coherence? What have you been putting off for whatever reason? You know, one of the questions that I ask a lot of the people that I work with is, how much excitement are you having in your everyday life? On a daily basis, how much excitement are you having? And usually I'll get between like, you know, like 10-20%. And for me, if someone's excitement isn't the top priority in your life, and when I say excitement, I mean like all those higher feelings, excitement, passion, joy, creativity, liberation, all those higher feelings. If your excitement isn't the top priority on your list, from my perspective, it's usually because you don't fully understand what excitement is. See, when we look clairvoyantly at what we call the higher self or the soul, the higher self is just a composition of energies. And when you look at those energies clairvoyantly, what you see is passion, joy, creativity, excitement, and love. Those are, in essence, the energies of the higher self. And so the higher self communicates with us through non-physical language. It'll communicate to us with excitement, with joy, with inspiration, with intuition as a way of pulling us and saying, hey, come this way, regardless of how the path looks to your logical mind, right? And so anytime we act on those inspirations, those excitements, those joys, when they're given to us, we are choosing to embody our higher self. We are choosing to become more coherent with our inner being and thus becoming more coherent with the planet. And so naturally our thoughts fall into place, our actions fall into place, and it's completely effortless. It doesn't take any work. It just takes allowance. So my invitation is, if you want to learn to better walk the dance of life or the art of living magic, is simply to ask yourself the question, what intuitions and what inspirations might you have on the back burner that you can choose to listen to and embody right now so that you can become that emanation of living magic even more so? And I know there's already a ton of you guys in the room who are living this path and living this joy. And so hopefully this is just serving as a helpful reminder, you know. But yeah, that's the most important message on my heart. I had something else I wanted to speak into, but it slipped my mind. So I'm gonna leave it at that for now.
Thank you so much, David. Really appreciate your living magic so much.
Yes,
thank
of course.
you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Great. And more from David on our virtual retreat that we're going to be having coming up. I'm going to share my screen for a moment. I have a picture that I'm going to bring up. Can you guys see my screen? It's kind of got a funny little thing on it. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes, we see it well.
So I got a text from Nassim right before we got started today, and I was going to play a short little video of his, but we have lots of videos of Nassim, and I think this is a more important thing for us to do at this moment. He wrote me and said that his mom has COVID-19, and she's stuck in a nursing home, has 103 fever tonight, and he's not sure she's going to make it through. So I thought it'd be much better for us tonight, instead of listening to Nassim's recorded video, that we just take a moment of silence together. And this is his mom and his sister and Nassim when he was young. And let's send her our love and blessings, and Nassim and all of their family, just in a moment here of silence together and reverence. You can really feel how much we love Nassim and how much he inspires us and how much he's given, and we just pour that 1,000-fold and radiate that to his mother. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for that, and I'll be texting him, see if we can get an update on how he's doing, but just really thank you for those blessings. So we're really coming to the last part of our event tonight. I'm just super excited. Thank you, everyone, for hanging in there. We've gone a little bit over, and for bringing your love and magic and energy and joy and love. And I want to hand it over to Sandra Hay, Michael Gosney from EarthDance. They're going to just share a little bit and then do the prayer for peace. And then we'll close up with Cornflower taking us out with a little more groovy music before we hand it back to to Deborah and Scott and Ken. Sandra, you look beautiful tonight, as always. Whoops, I think, there you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, blessings on Nassim and his mother. And wow, that was out of left field. And, may she just have the vitality that she needs to be able to stay the course here tonight.
Yeah.
And many blessings to her. And I'm just thankful to be part of this experience. Everybody has been so inspired. My heart is just like, whew, and it's an honor that we're all getting to share this time together and really feed the field in the way that it's being fed tonight. And for me, this is a real alignment of many years of all of our independent paths coming together in a confluence of divine synchronicity, and it's beautiful. And I'm very grateful, and I'm here and honored to represent 24 years of the EarthDance Synchronized Festival for Peace, which occurs at multiple locations every September 21st on the International Day of Peace. And all the events contribute to local charities celebrating peace, social justice, sustainability, through music, dance, and community. And it's been such a joy to be able to have this as a mission, to be able to be assigned to bring joy into the field. So that's part of the EarthDance assignment and mission, is to bring celebration and joy and awakening creative intention into the field. And we've collaborated with many of the groups involved with us, the mostest, Deborah Juicy, Marvelous Harmony, which for over 30 years opened up in June, the summer event of the festival season, and EarthDance bookended closing of the season in September. be partners in this kind of accordion of compressing festivals and love and creativity. And just want to salute you, Deborah, for all the work that you've done for so many years. And it's great to see you continuing it and be part of it. And part of what the Harmony Festival contributed every year was the ethos and the vibe, and EarthDance too. This was our sort of collective conscious contribution. Is the ethos and the vibe of both of these festivals brought inspiration over decades to the whole conscious festival movement worldwide. And the EarthDance theme this year is co-manifestable, which represents this approach of resonant events. And here we are, co-manifesting once again. So I'm going to pass this over to my partner in crime, Michael Gosney, and then after that, we'll share the prayer for peace with you all. So love you, Michael. You look radiant, by the way.
As do you, as does everyone on this wonderful journey here tonight that we're taking together. It's been beautiful. And definitely down for the, I love David's living magic. And that's what we're doing. Well, I just wanted to speak just for a minute or two before we play the prayer for peace to experience here together about that history. And we have had since the EarthDance events began in the mid-90s, founded by Chris Decker and continued all these years, decades now, by a small crew, including Matt Marshall and Revis Daniel Moore and Sandra Hay, Andy Fuso, and a few others. But it's been the collaboration among hundreds of event producers around the world. And a common element from the beginning has been the prayer for peace, which is played at the same time at all of the events. So at a club in London, a huge EarthDance event in the club, it's midnight there, and they bring everyone to a focused point to listen to this prayer after the dancing. In California, it's at 4 in the afternoon in the festival environment, Cape Town, Nairobi, Costa Rica, on and on. But the moment of that prayer for peace is magic, and it's definitely was an example of an early pulse, you might say. And it's kind of cool to come full circle. It's been a pleasure working on the Global Coherence Pulse project, and because we were very in touch back then in 2007, a year when we had a particularly large number of events. We also did an extended global Om that year. So we continued the 2-minute prayer for peace for another 8 minutes with a global Om among these hundreds of events. And so Roger Nelson, who had co-founded the Global Consciousness Project based in Princeton with Dean Radin of IONS, contacted us, and he'd been tracking events, large events, to see if they registered on the system. And this was so dramatic that year that he reached out to us. So anyway, we went on to actually work with Roger and developed an app called the Earth Mind Meter. And it would give a visual readout, a little needle going back and forth, showing when moments of mass attention, emotional attention on one thing occurred in the planetary consciousness. You see it on the GCP, but it's kind of esoteric, and so giving a visual readout. Well, the current work of HeartMath and what we're doing with Global Coherence Pulse and their broader work with GCI and the app that you can get on the phones, this is the current state of the art of science and consciousness coming together. It's a wonderful time, a poignant moment. And so just a final note, in addition to the coordination of the event around the world each September, EarthDance Global, which is earthdanceglobal.com, we're involved in a number of events and initiatives. And we'd love to be in touch with you all more. So please sign up for our mailing list at the website there. And so now we're going to experience just one of the 2019 EarthDance Prayer for Peace events. In this case, it's EarthDance Maui. So let's check it out.
We are one global family, all colors, all races, one world, united. We dance for peace and the healing of our planet Earth. Peace for all nations, peace for our communities, and peace within ourselves. As we join all dance floors across the world, let us connect heart to heart. Through our diversity, we recognize unity. Through our compassion, we recognize peace. Our love is the power to transform our world. Let us send it out now.
So beautiful. Sandra, did you want to just close out? There's the link to EarthDance there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's been going on for 24 years, and every time I hear that, my heart just gets really fluttery because it expands so much to be able to be connected in the heart throughout the whole planet with people that are celebrating at the same time. And it's like when we come together and dance, we leave our words behind and we launch into the field, you know, and we meet each other where we resonate in our hearts. And I think this is really the true coherence when we just allow our true spirits to express and be expressed in love. And it has been an honor and a privilege to be a member and a grandmother of now EarthDance, and I just want to thank all of our team, Liam, Grinnell, Will Grinnell, Amma, Fuso, Matt Marshall, Michael Gosney, Chris Decker, and Frank and Kitty Wells, who have been such an incredible part of this event. So thank you, Teresa, for everything extraordinary, and I just honor the experience of being together with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So go to EarthDance Global, put your name on the email list. They're going to be doing some great stuff, and they are hosting our Global Coherence Pulse next month, and it's going to be really fun. So definitely go to Global Coherence Pulse also, put your name on the mailing list, and we'll let you know about it. And we are going to go to Cornflower to get us a little grooving. We can dance for peace.
I forgot one person.
Yes.
Rev.
Oops, you cut out.
Thank you. Oh, am I still cut out? Okay.
You're good. Cool. All right, Cornflower. Thank you. Thanks for hanging in there.
Yeah, I've loved this evening. It's been very special, and I can feel the wave that's built from the one that I was on a few weeks ago, and what's being conjured here, and how everybody's coming together, and it's like we're getting it each time deeper, and I love that. And I think David Lyons said, you know, for all of you who are already doing it, this is a nice reminder. And I feel like we all need reminders, and that's what these are for. That's what, you know, I do my music for. That's what each of these presenters, why they offer over and over again the same information that evolves and grows and deepens, because we all need these reminders, and it's just such a gift to be a part of this. So thank you all so much. So my song for you tonight is called Receive. And I like to open it up with a beautiful quote from Gary Zukav. So here we go.
In other words, creating authentic power is learning to distinguish within yourself the difference between love and fear, and then choosing love no matter what.
That's why I breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love you all so much.
Thank you so much. Scott, can you put some links for him in the chat too? So I know there's lots of people that want to connect. And I just want to say thank you. Look, everybody really hung in there tonight. Thank you so much to all of the presenters that came and gave their energy today, and our partners of the Global Coherence Pulse, and my beautiful friends and musicians. What a gorgeous offering tonight. I'm feeling just so, so happy in my heart. And I just want to thank Deborah and Scott and Ken for inviting us on and letting us do this with you tonight. And let's just take this love, this energy that we've been pulsing, and let's just keep pulsing it out every day, but especially into our own hearts, so that we have the resilience and that we can really build the capacity to stay in coherence in the face of whatever comes. So thank you. Thank you everyone for listening on Facebook and everywhere. And Scott and Deborah, back to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Teresa.
Hey, yeah, let's, I'm gonna go to gallery view. Let's all give a big twinkling to Teresa for putting all of this together. Thank you
That was
so
amazing.
much. Really amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
Well, I talk about amazing. I want to thank all the people that have donated to our GoFundMe. We've had a lot of people donating. It's been pretty amazing. And really, every donation is appreciated, whether it's $5 or we had Jay Mayer did it again. Jay put in $1,500. So where's Jay? I'm going to find him here for a second for us to. And you're going to be learning a lot more about Jay and Light Touch. We're doing a lot of collaborations between Jay and this event and Love Coach Academy. So thank you, Jay, for your incredible, phenomenal generosity. It's really, really extraordinary. Thank you very, very much. And I want to thank a lot of other people that donated. I want to thank Claudia, Claudia Weiss. Our Claudia Weiss, is she still with us?
Claudia Wells.
Claudia Wells, sorry. Claudia put in $250.
Wow.
So thank you so much, Claudia, for that. It's really, really generous of you. Want to acknowledge Martin and Deborah Masters, Sergio Baroni, Hassia Martyr. Some person named Anonymous just keeps donating over and over and over. That anonymous person is very generous and consistent. Christopher Johnson, John Lockett, Suzanne Marie, Catherine Brewer, Stan Spiro, Tony Salbino. Thank you very much, Tony. Judson, Michael Lapolt, Anonymous, and so it goes. I want to thank Luke. Thank you very much for your generous contribution. A lot of anonymous people coming in and being very, very supportive of us. So thank you, everyone, for being so generous and to tell us a little bit more about who we have supported in the past and who we are going to be supporting is our partner, Kenny Kaufman. You're on, Ken.
Okay, so this week we also have, what was it, media? I think it's, look at the document here. It's the Healing Clinic, but I don't think they're here to talk about it. So they're a collective that brings healing energy and work to people who can't afford it. It's community-based, and it basically, there you go, there's some pictures. Let me get, I lost my my notes there. Let's see if I can get out of here. Hang on just a sec.
I can jump in for you a second. The Healing Clinic Collective has a very intentional mission, healing with the people. The vision is to walk their missions and to share gifts and medicines with others in reciprocity towards Great Spirit. They do a lot in terms of supporting domestic violence survivors, sexual assault survivors, people in recovery, rehabilitation, previously incarcerated, the overworked and undercared for, low income and undocumented.
Right.
They do a lot of really, really great work. And we certainly, you can learn more about their healing clinics and If you go to healingcliniccollective.net, that's the website that I just pulled up right now for us, Kenny.
Thank you, thank you. And they're our beneficiary for this week. Last week we had Ashina, but she didn't chime in, and we wanted to have her say, you know, what she's doing some great work with the money that we gave her from last week, another $1,000. But she didn't get a chance to join us tonight. So maybe she'll come in next week and just, you know, say her gratitude. Otherwise than that, what a long show, and people, over 300 people still with us. That's just amazing at 10:30 at night. What a team, what a team. You guys pull it off each week better and better. So
Hey, we're going to give Ashel another shot. Ashel is somebody we supported earlier. You saw the wonderful work that his organization was doing. And Ashel, we're going to have you play a little bit later after people come on.
Okay.
But can you tell us a little bit about the $1,000 we gave you?
Yes.
Where did that go?
Yes. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So with essential food and medicine, essentially what we do, we take the surplus from the food waste from the food system here in West Oakland and Oakland, and from local farmers as well, and we transform that into healthy juices, soups, smoothies, and also medicines. So we have an affiliate garden project as well, where we are growing the medicines that exactly we need for this time. The elders are saying we need the rose, the calendula, all of that. And then we're making medicines out of it and creating gardens, working with the community in that way to deliver that to the most vulnerable people in our community, people in encampments, people, the elderly community, the immune compromised. So that's Essential Food and Medicine, EFAM, that's the organization. I'll post some more in the link. The check is actually coming Monday. So I talked to Wanda today, and we've just been in the field so much that when somebody spoke about the sacred activism, I remember exactly early on in the conversation with COVID, I was sitting down and I was realizing I had to sit still, very still, and meditate in the morning to get the instructions. And for me, it was like immediately we got to feed the people. We have to actually look at the resiliency of our networks, our water, our food networks, and actually examine those relationships, re-examine those, and actually deal with the essentials. So in terms of that conversation around sacred activism, I super resonate with that. I'll post a link, and then next week, essentially what we're gonna get that juicer fix, the industrial one, the NutriFaster, the $2,500 system, so we can crank out some more juices, get some more bottles, and really just work more with the organizational development, get that stuff figured out with the funds. So I really appreciate it. We got encampments in East Oakland, West Oakland that love the juice, the smoothies, the extra nutrition that they weren't getting any other way. So it's a blessing to be a part of this, actually, and to see how just the continuity of the currency, the frequency actually makes a difference in a lot of people's lives. So really appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I see that Claudia is back, and I just want to put the spotlight on you for a moment, Claudia. Thank you so much for the work you're doing in the world and for your very generous donation tonight. We really appreciate you, and it's good to get to just all these amazing bright lights in our community. Thank you so very, very much. And I'm going to put the spotlight back on Jay for a moment. Jay, with his donations, is really helping us to increase our support and also keep these shows running. Jay, do you want to tell people just a little bit about Light Touch, maybe a preview of what we're going to see next week with you?
Light Touch, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you great.
First, I want to thank you. You do such a great job. You're really born to do this. And thank you, Deborah, for putting it all together. And Light Touch, it's an opportunity to send an electromagnetic signal to your own brain, or to send it out with your partner for perfect love, for exponential financial blessings, to heal your marriage, for success, to heal your children. And it's a really big thing that we're actually planning on going viral with very, very, very soon. And we're merging with the Love Coach Academy, and they're going to be handling the influx of the calls with their trained, excellent counselors. So this is this is what light touch is needed. And I'm just really thankful. I consider it a divine appointment.
Thank you very much, Jay. And I just want to acknowledge how awesome. Look at this gallery. Wish I got everybody still with us. You know, I mean, Gregg Braden, who was like our first person, is still with us. Manose, our first musician, is still with us. And that really touches my heart. You know, it's like, what an amazing community we all get to be a part of. And so thank you. And I'm going to take it over. I'm going to, Jay, I think you accidentally hit, there you go. I'm going to turn it over to my partner, Deborah, to kind of wrap us up for the night. Deborah, take it away.
Yeah, well, again, what's in the space now is love. I think that's what binds us all. And that's what we're bringing to this broadcast and to the world. So I just want to acknowledge that. And also, everyone's going to get a replay. If you signed up for the Zoom, we send out the replay on Monday. So you all get a replay that you can share and watch again if you want. And we've got 2 amazing more shows in the next 2 weeks. Next week is going to be Sacred Activism, Follow Your Heart. We have Marianne Williamson, John Robbins, Nina Simons of Bonnet Pioneers, Andrew Harvey, who coined the phrase, Lori Grace, we're going to be honoring her, and incredible music with Larissa Stowe, Sasha Rose, Human, and amazing comedy with Alicia Dotner. And then the last week of May, we have May 30th, with a very appropriate theme, which is co-creating our vision of the new normal. So we get to create our vision of the new normal. We get to manifest that. And that's what we're doing here with these broadcasting, is really raising the frequency and the consciousness that we all hold as we come together and let that move forward. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, everyone that was on the show today. And we are going to stay and do some more, aren't we, Scott?
You know, honestly, we haven't had too many people asking to come into the room. So I thought it might be nice for Ashel, maybe to do, if you still want to, Ashel, to do one last little musical piece to kind of put us all to sleep, send us all to bed.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, the song's called Water.
You got to turn your camera on, partner.
Yeah. Am I good? You see me?
Not yet.
You can't see me?
No.
There
you are. Now we can.
Oh, okay.
There we are.
There you go. All right.
Just let it go, yeah.
just like water, reflecting the moonlight, healing the wounds right now, yeah. Purify our souls, just like water, wash away the pain, healing the wounds right now, purify our souls.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you very, very, very much. Beautiful. Thank you. Well, I think it's been a very full evening. Teresa, again, thank you so much. You did a fantastic job. And I saw that somebody asked about all the links. So maybe we can find a way to put all the links onto one document and get it out to everybody for all of our speakers and musicians. Yeah.
Be happy to do it. And I also just reposted about the show that Gregg's doing tomorrow. It's going to be on Facebook Live. I put the post in there, so be sure to join at 2 o'clock. We'll just continue this love fest.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
everyone on our team, for staying in there. Love you all so much. Blessings.